You come around like a bad habit. What's on your mind? They want to buy Cassidy Caravans? Don't they know it's burned to ash? No. Even times being what they are. Not sure I'm looking to sell. Even for all the whiskey in Reno. Mojave happened. Hit by raiders packing some heavy firepower. Can't believe the Crimson Caravan haven't heard. So if you want to buy all of Cassidy Caravans, you're looking at it. And what I got in my pockets. Still, as little as that is, not looking to sell. If someone came up to you and offered you 1,000 caps for your name, would you take it? Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to hear your answer anyway.
Jesus.
Point is, I made the Caravan what it is. It's mine. Alice McLafferty, eh? No, I see the zeros, and I know she's good for them. Still, it's not about the money. Dad'd spin like a twister if he ever heard I sold our name for anything. Look, I know you came all this way, and that takes some drive, especially these days. Just doesn't feel right, trading history for a slip of paper.
Jesus. These are some harsh options.
You challenging me? Serious now. All right, you come here armed with whiskey. We'll make a sport of it. And none of that radioactive shit. I'm talking whiskey. Not Dixon whiskey. Whiskey. I'll be waiting then. And training. What's on your mind?
I mean,
You
what
take
answer
care
did you
now.
think I was going to give, Fuzzy?
You come around like a bad habit. All right, then. I already got a head start, but I'll go first anyway. Well, guess you're a little tougher than I thought. Still looks like you're feeling it, eh, Slick?
I totally love Oh my god, look at these. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is fantastic. This part is on your endurance stat.
You know, you put up a good fight. I'm impressed. Thing is, I really just wanted an excuse to drink. Should last me for a while. Might just be the whiskey talking, but I think I might feel a whole lot better leaving the caravan business behind me. Makes me a little teary-eyed, but now I've got a bottle to put him in. Hand over that paper. I'll put my name to it. All right. There you go. Caravan's yours. Feel kind of relieved, actually. Guess I didn't realize how much I was carrying around with just the name. No idea. Maybe head back west? Though the idea of heading back there with my tail between my legs isn't appealing. You got one too many by my count. You take care now. You come around like a bad habit. Don't know. Not sure where to head next. Go with you? And why the hell would I do that? The outpost lost its charm about 3 bottles ago. And that was just this morning. Walking the Mojave with you can't be any worse than here, that's for sure. All right, I'm in.
There we go.
Sure could use a drink.
Beautiful.
Well, now that I'm free of the outpost, was wondering if you'd mind
There we
making a
go.
detour. I'd like to pay my respects to the end of Cassidy Caravans. Check out the site where they died. Upside of Vegas, here, Tal. Trapped at the Mojave outpost, so I wasn't able to run there when I heard. Been weeks since it was hit, so the site's probably a Cazador nest by now. Only wishful thinking on my part, most likely. At the least, I'd like to pay my respects. I got them into this mess. I owe them that much. Thanks. I appreciate it. Some of the caravan might be ash, but we were expecting raiders and over-inquisitive NCR border guards. There might be something left. If I'm there with you, shouldn't be hard to spot. And I'd prefer to see the bodies with my own eyes. Ask them then.
She's got a lot of dialogue.
Well, no idea why your friend Mr. House wants it, but I'm guessing it's not for the cats.
Well, that's outdated dialogue.
Ask him then. Gift for my dad, along with my name. Rose of Sharon Cassidy. Mom said he got the name out of some old world book about dirt pilgrims. Name sure sounds sweet, though. Anyway, pendant's a little rose. Originally thought it was one of Mom's tribal necklaces, but no. Came from Dad. You know, like one of the tribes from the east. We got him out west, too. NCR's herding them up, though, domesticating them. Mom was from east of the Colorado, though. Not sure what tribe. It was before the time Caesar rounded them up, made them legion. She walked a hell of a way until she crossed paths with my dad, and he convinced her to stop walking. And lucky for me, he was a horny old bastard.
Jesus.
Didn't ask Mom to elaborate. Never heard her complain about his bedroom behavior. Only complain he wasn't around to do it no more.
Damn.
Not much to tell. He ended up walking east one day when I was young and never came back. Not a family deserter like some, though. Mom died waiting for him, and she had me to raise. She was sick, but she held off dying until I was old enough to be getting into trouble with the boys. As for Dad, I figure he just got himself lost or dead. Happens. And I'm not all boo-hoo about it, so save your glass for someone who's crying.
Didn't you ever follow character, Nick? Hey.
Not a clue. When he left, I was too in my crib to understand why, and around the time Mom passed, I was too into my teens to listen. Got his name, got this pendant, and that's about it. Short of caps is what taught me mostly. Ammo's expensive, so I learned to make every shot count. And hear tell my dad was a crack shot, so I don't want to dirty the family name. Not out of pride. Respect. Dynamite's for when you don't have enough bullets, want to clear a pass or scare off geckos from a caravan. Some of Twister's out of the divide can block off a pass in no time, so you learn how to handle powder so you don't get trapped somewhere. Any event, I prefer shooting if it comes down to an argument. Don't worry, I'll carry my weight if a disagreement arises.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
What, you mean like spears? No, none of that.
That sort of continuity.
Mom was a tribal, but she didn't teach me anything like that.
You know who she reminds me of a little bit?
Ask?
I'm
already shadowing you, aren't I? Ask?
Ash from Overwatch. A little bit.
I'm fair with checking dynamite, not bad with a pistol, if I
Chucks
do
dynamite?
say so myself. Carry a knife,
Sharpshooter?
too, but that's more for practical reasons. Prefer settling things with my fists, though. Made more friends than corpses in bar fights. Plan on keeping it that way.
There you go.
Don't think I'm some kind of Vault City pacifist, though. If things get heated, I'll start shooting. Trust me. All right, then.
Shit.
God, there's almost nothing left. Looks like whoever it was just in the mood for killing. Most of the cargo's ash, too. Not burned, looks like disintegrated. When I heard the reports, I assumed ash meant burned. So close to the Vegas wall, too. Don't that beat all? Must have happened during the day, though. They hadn't made a camp. No idea. Maybe catch the sun in their eyes? Maybe they wanted the caravan to come to them, walk into an ambush. We should check the wagon. They may not have got everything. Whatever we find, it's yours. Least I can do for hoofing it all this way with me.
Damn.
You know what? What happened in my caravan? Not the first time I've heard about an attack like that. One of our caravans got hit a few months back, and the caravan been burned too, along with the cargo. I wonder if he made the same mistake, and that other caravan got hit with energy weapons too. Yeah, it's a ways though. Hell of a detour. You sure?
I'm down.
All right then, let's move out.
Cool.
More energy weapons hit this caravan. Place has been picked clean. This is Brotherhood level murder here. But they don't do things like that. This was done with a purpose. Let's poke around a bit, see what we can find. Might be something in the wreckage.
All right. That looks like something, but I can't select it.
What's that? Looks like a map. Got the route along the west of Vegas, and they've marked another spot. Over here along this stretch. That's fucked up. Middle of nowhere. Yeah. Something's wrong. I can feel it. It's not any closer than the first. So if you'd rather let be, let me know. All right then, let's move out. That does it. That's all I need to know. Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs. They were behind burning these caravans, and they've got to answer for them. I'm gonna get some extra ammo, a few bottles of whiskey, and then show them how Cassidy's settle accounts. NCR? Are you out of your fucking mind? That'd take years. And with the war with the Legion, no way they're gonna waste time running up the Crimson Caravan or the Van Graffs. All right. If you poke around the Van Graffs and Alice, fine. But if I see either one go into their camp, I'm gonna start shooting, no matter what you find. All right then.
Damn.
Things are getting stranger every day.
Welcome back. Very good. On occasion, it's proven to be more profitable in the long run to simply buy out the competition. And this is one of those occasions. Of course. Which one? Most merchant companies, successful merchant companies rather, have them. It can be inconvenient to replace employees on short notice.
About that.
The contracts keep employees around for a specific duration of time, after which they get paid. After their upkeep and expenses are deducted, of course. Food, water, living quarters, medicine and clothes, just the basic stuff. It all comes out of the company's coffers. Yes, and they have been for decades now. The hired hands know what they're signing up for. We don't hide anything with fancy talk.
Fancy talk.
That's because we are. We always pay up when the contract ends, though. Won't stay in business long if you've got a reputation as a cheat. All right. I understand. No hard feelings. But you will, of course, keep our conversation on the matter strictly confidential. It's been a pleasure.
Excuse me, man. Let me just access your computer. The Mormons are warming up to the idea of a Crimson Caravan branch being established in New Canaan. Naturally, the taxes are such that will be at a severe disadvantage to their own caravans. The long-term solution is to overwhelm them with a flood of cheap NCR goods. I'll have to call in some favors with our contacts back in California, but the potential profit margins are worth it. Efforts to encourage Henry Jameson to resign so far have failed. His parents are proving stubborn as well. Obviously, they don't want him around any more than I do. Getting the New Vegas branch up and running should have been a simple job for him, but this place is still as crude and primitive as any frontier branch. Very irritating. Your push for a new tariff on gun runner weapons didn't make it past the Senate. They've got too much pull in California. We're going to have to find some other way to get the upper hand in the weapons market. McCarran has requested more frequent supply runs to their outlying outposts. I've been able to negotiate additional terms in our favor, but I may need to lower our hiring standards to meet the demand. I'm already concerned about the reliability of some of the Caravanseers. Were it not for some work contracts, I know some of them would have run off a long time ago. Nobody seems to believe in hard work anymore. I have a feeling that's not what I needed, though. Is it in the safe? I think it's in the safe.
Staying low.
Just in case.
You find any evidence yet? I'm not gonna wait forever.
You can wait till I walk out the building.
So there's just one more safe to crack? Hope you can get to it. Say what you will about the two leading ladies. They watch their lockers like crows. Still, you got one, so the other might not be impossible. If you get both, then let's talk. And I appreciate you putting yourself at risk like this. Thanks. All right, then.
I'm literally right in front of him, and I'm hidden. Y'all weren't kidding when you said the sneak was kind of broken. It's kind of broken. Surely I can't just pick the door right next to him and walk in, right? Surely. Bizarre. There's Fallout logic for you, right? God damn it. Laser rifle focus optics. That's cool. Letter to Gloria. Pay more money. It has come to my attention that Cassidy Caravans have suffered a number of setbacks recently. I can only hope that these latest unfortunate events drive that young booze hound of an owner to finally sell me her remaining assets. Oh, damn! As per our agreement, I have bent my not inconsiderable efforts towards weakening your competitors, the gun runners. You can expect a mysterious and sudden surge of sales in the near future. Oh my god. There's an agreement between Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs undercut or eliminate all other rival caravan companies in the region, such as Gun Runners and Cassidy Caravans. In the case of Cassidy Caravans, Gloria Van Graff has agreed to use mercenaries against Cassidy Caravans to drive down the company's value, allowing Alice to... Oh, wow. We helped with that. We helped with that. Now I kind of feel bad.
You find any evidence yet? No shit. There it is. The blood, the motive, as clear as day. They must have penned these with snake venom. But we got it. Now what? Sure, this damns them, but only if someone listens. Well, Jackson and the Mojave outpost could get it to the folks in the west. I wouldn't trust anyone closer to the Colorado. And the Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs have their heart back west. Not sure it'll do any good, though. All right, let's do it. Listen to what he has to say.
Appreciate the help. Wish I had more work for you, but nothing else on the radar at the moment.
We're all doing this now? You're damn right we are.
What is it? Let me see. All right, this explains a lot of the lost caravans. I thought it was Legion work, but I can, if you make me a promise. I need you to swear you won't take revenge on Gloria or Alice. If you do, then your case is over, and we can't see that justice is done. I know some things are hard to let go, but you and Miss Cassidy need to understand that. Hear me? All right. You change your mind and start shooting, then I can't help you. Show up here after, I'll put you in chains. Get on now. I'll make sure this gets west, and let the wheels of law start turning in the courts. God, what a mess. People turning against each other when the Mojave's at risk of falling. If the Republic's sinkhole progress doesn't kill us, greed will. Thanks for bringing me this. I know revenge must have been tempting. For what it's worth, I appreciate you didn't shed any more blood. We need to save our strength for the Legion. I'll do what I can, and those folks that got killed need to be answered for.
Hey. Well, that's settled, I suppose. Feels... I don't know. I guess I feel relieved. I don't know what I feel. Wait, that's not true. I think the NCR back west, when riled, is going to be the worst enemy the Van Graffs and the Crimson Caravan ever had. They're also mired in procedure and paper out there. The kind of evidence we gave is going to be worse than shooting them. I think that settles accounts with me and my men. That was some tricky political maneuvering, but worth it, even if it takes a few years.
That's cool. Exactly.
Oh, it's you. You need something repaired or something? Sorry, boss, but as much as I like to risk getting killed by your side, you seem to already have some help. Sure, boss. What do you want to know? Name's Raul. Raul Alfonso Tejada. I'm the mechanic.
It is, Rev. Or it should be.
You forget about me already, boss? You sure you didn't take a blow to the head or something? My name is Raul Alfonso Tejada. Probably because it used to be Miguel's. I'm an open book, boss. Granted, the book's in Spanish and some of the pages have fallen out, but I'm an open book.
I like this guy.
I was born just outside Mexico City. My family had a little ranch there. Anything to hold your attention, boss. Old enough to know better, boss.
Old enough to know
Old
better.
enough to know better.
That's a perfect old person answer. Perfect.
You never heard of Pedro Chico? Un amigo de Poseidon Energy. Of course not. They were an oil company in Mexico back before the war. You forget about my boss. Usually when somebody gives you a name and nothing else, It's because that's all they want to give you. And if we run, we might still catch Benny. Well, you might. I'll just be wheezing along behind you. Questions, boss? You mean you don't know everything there is to know already?
This guy is such a kiss ass. That's fine.
Just how old do you think I am, boss? Because I can pretty much guarantee I'm older than that. Let me tell you a story from before the Great War. Everybody knew Robert House. He was a genius, a superstar. Founded REPCONN at 22. Dated Hollywood starlets, the works. They say he saved Las Vegas. I was in Mexico City when the bombs dropped. Even from there, we could see House's defensive rockets shooting down the incoming missiles.
He might be the only mutant I've
he died in the
seen
war.
with a mustache.
Maybe he did. But his robots are still out there roaming the waste. And now, a Mr. House rules New Vegas.
Yeah, about that.
Maybe not. Maybe the new guy is just a clever raider chief with knowledge of history. Maybe he just left instructions for his robots to carry out in his name. Or maybe Robert House uploaded his brain pattern into a computer and rules to this day a godless, soulless machine god. Maybe the whole thing's a crazy coincidence. Who knows? I remember there were some weird stories about him, especially near the end. There was a tell-all in El Periódico de las Aburridas by a starlet House dated. She said they never, Now, don't make me spell it out, boss. Anyway, she said all he wanted to do was scan her brain and make her dress up in different outfits. It was quite the scandal, at least in the Latin American tabloid journalism market. You're a veritable geyser of curiosity, boss. Benny, huh? Sorry, boss. Doesn't ring a bell. Then again, my brain isn't as sharp as it used to be. They're all right, I suppose. Had a bit of a tough going there at the beginning. You know, their first town was nearly wiped out by raiders. Anyway, they got their good points and their bad. Just like a lot of the old governments from before the war. I don't really have a problem with them. People around here tend to see them as invading marauders planning to burn and pillage the countryside. But I've been to Arizona, boss. Before the Legion, it was a nasty place. So thick with raiders, you couldn't trade with a town 2 miles up the road. Caesar's laws aren't nice, and their actions aren't always pretty. But then neither am I. But you keep me around.
All right.
Anything else? You really enjoy dragging me into situations where I get shot at, don't you, boss?
I haven't done it yet.
Well, boss, when a giant, insane super mutant asks you to stay put, you do what you're told. Well, maybe you don't. But I'm just a broke-down old man. It's stupid, boss. I used to listen to the radio broadcast, just to pass the time. Well, one day the signal stopped, so I figured I'd try to find a transmitter. I'm a pretty good repairman. Or I was before my eyes started to go. Anyway, I found Black Mountain and offered my services. But Tabitha decided I was useful enough to keep around. Permanently. I'm an open book, boss.
Okay, I think that's... He didn't give us a quest, though.
I'm not much use besides being a portable encyclopedia, really. I guess you could use me as a pack Brahmin. But my knees aren't so good anymore. That's nice of you to say, boss. But I'm an old man. Not much use to anybody
Bring in
anymore.
people. Okay.
Time was. I was a pretty good shot with a pistol. I guess I'm still half decent. These old bones aren't much use in hand-to-hand fighting, though. I can also do maintenance work on your stuff. I don't have the supplies for a real repair job, but I can keep your gear working longer. Yeah, maybe you can introduce them to me, if we find them, because I've never met one. Anything you say, boss.
Howdy. What brings you back? Used to be a ranger. We took the... That was back in 7... Vegas all... Well...
We've heard this already.
Going on... Always a...
That doesn't appear to have done anything. Do we need to go to one of the other guys?
Got a second to talk, boss?
Oh, shit.
Meeting Corporal Sterling. Well, it kind of got me thinking. Here's a guy that's been beat all to hell, right? I mean, he could have retired from the service, but instead he signs back on and does what he can. You think he did the right thing? You're preaching to the choir here, boss. Once a man's prime is behind him, he should let it go. It's a question I've asked myself often enough. I grew up in a place called Hidalgo Ranch, just outside Mexico City. It wasn't much, just a bit of a farm, with a house for 3 generations of Tejadas. I wasn't the best behaved kid. I was quick with my hands, with a pistol or a wrench. And I wasn't afraid to get into fights over it. I never killed anybody, but I had my share of run-ins with the police. Mostly my family kept me in line. This was before the war. We were far enough away from Mexico City when the bombs fell that we missed the worst of it. But things got bad quick. Just a few days after Mexico City was vaporized, refugees started pouring down the road to our ranch. We helped who we could, but there were so many. Eventually, my father started turning people away before we ran out of food. Things got violent. My father and I got our guns, and we drove them off. About 24 men came back in the night after we'd gone to sleep. They set fire to the ranch house and barred the doors from the outside. My whole family was trapped inside. I smelt the smoke, and I got myself and my little sister Rafaela out through a window, but everyone else. My parents, my grandmother, my 2 brothers, and 2 of my sisters all
Jesus.
died. Rafaela and I ran. We were pursued by some of the men who attacked our home, but I was always a good shot. The ones who came after us, I killed. The rest, I left be. I had to take care of Rafaela, not throw my life away on revenge. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that for all my skills with a pistol, I couldn't help them. Anyway, that was weighing on my mind. Thanks for letting me get it out in the open, boss.
Welcome. Any word on Station Charlie? What? What happened? God damn it! I just spoke to them the other day. If this is some kind of sick joke, nah. That'd be too far.
Fair enough.
Even for those guys. Listen, this could be trouble for all of us. Whoever did this is still out there, and they might come this way. If you can find out who did this, we can be better prepared to deal with them if they come through here.
Blame the whiskey? Yeah, sure. It's the whiskey's fault.
Look out for yourself.
Hey, boss.
There we
Can
go.
I ask you something? What do you think of guys like Ranger Andy? I mean, guys who have a world of experience doing what they do, but have to give it up because they're getting old and slow or too injured. Yeah, I suppose you could still teach, take a less active role in the world. That's not so bad. Would it surprise you to know that I used to be a gun-slinging adventurer? After the fire, I knew my sister and I couldn't stay at Hidalgo Ranch anymore. The refugees still wanted me dead. They even put a bounty on me. I remember how scared Rafaela was. I told her if she came with me, we'd see the vaqueros. She used to love the rodeo, especially the trick rider. We figured maybe we could find help in Mexico City. We were young. We didn't know what had happened, really. We didn't understand about the bombs. I don't think it was as hard hit as DC or Bakersfield, but it was bad enough. By the time we got there, the city was a radioactive ruin. Still, the city was full of looters, already forming into the beginnings of raider tribes. Crime was bad before the war, but now it was a nightmare. We were living like scavengers, scraping by on what little food we could find, always looking for medicine for my burns. And then, of course, the radiation started to kick in, turning me into this handsome devil you see before you.
I like Raul.
You're a poet of understatement, boss. But there were moments it was almost worth it. I still remember finding that novelty costume shop. I was just looking around for something I could slice up to wrap my burns when I saw the vaquero outfit hanging on the rack like it hadn't been touched. I took it, not like anybody else needed it, you know, and wore it back to our camp. Rafaela laughed, for the first time since the bombs had fallen. It was. I started to build up a legend. Sometimes it headed off trouble, but most of the times it just started more. Young punks looking to prove themselves would come looking for me, but my eyes were sharp and my guns were quick. For a while, it seemed like we might even survive there, until Rafaela. She went out to find some food one day. I was sick, so I stayed at our camp. I guess it must have been the beginning of radiation poisoning. Anyway, it was supposed to be safe, but some raiders happened to pass through where she was scavenging. I won't speak of what they did to her.
Jesus.
When I found her body, the only way to recognize her was this funny little scar on her knee from when she was a little girl. Terrible doesn't begin to cover it, boss. I let my whole family down. First the ranch, now Rafaela. I was the last Tejada.
Well,
I guess maybe I went a little crazy then. I took my guns and went back to that market. I didn't have many bullets, but I had enough. After the raiders were dead, I salvaged what I could from the store. I was tired. I just wanted to be alone forever. I left Mexico City behind. I made my way out to the Gulf Coast. Eventually, I found an old Petro Chico refinery nobody had claimed. I stayed there for a little while, and I thought a lot about my life. I thought about the guns I'd lived by and what they'd gotten me. I decided my guns hadn't gotten me anything, and it was time to give it up. I took off the old vaquero outfit and put on a Petro Chico jumpsuit. The name tag said Miguel, so I started using the name myself. Eventually, I made it to Arizona. That's another story, boss.
Oh, well, damn. Oh, there he is.
Hello again. Still in one piece, I see. Like I said before, not all followers are good with people. I'm fine doing research back here, even if it is a bit boring and pointless and a complete waste of time. Don't mind me. I'm just voicing my thoughts so they don't burrow out of my skull in a fit of abject despondency.
I like him already.
No offense intended, but why should I go anywhere with you? That seems appropriately resolute and yet vague. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and go with you, but let me be clear about something. If you plan to help Caesar's Legion, this is going to be a brief relationship. I may not have all the answers for how to fix Freeside's problems, but Caesar taking control isn't part of the solution. Fair? You have quite the menagerie at your disposal. If you can get the posse down to small gang size, I'll happily go with you.
Wait, before you
What's
sit
up?
down.
There's something about that robot that doesn't seem all right to me. I'm not saying we shouldn't take it with us. I'm just saying that
He
if
does
it were
have
to
my
fall
glasses.
into Lake Mead and be irreparably damaged, and if you threw an EMP grenade in after it, Well, there are worse things happening in the world, right? It just seems a little twitchy. Some of these robots, you look at them the wrong way, don't screw in a vacuum tube right. The next thing you know, you're a pile of ash on the floor and someone's stepping out of a Vertibird
That's not a good
your
start
remains into a Nuka-Cola bottle.
We've been through some shit with Ed, buddy.
Does it? Does it?
I'm not exactly a mercenary, but taking out scumbags of this magnitude wouldn't cause me to lose any sleep.
You must have some real pull with House to get inside the lucky 38.
All right.
What's up?
It could be better. If we can find a way to work toward the independence of New Vegas, that would be ideal. But really, as long as you don't help out the Legion, anything's better than that. I'm really very boring. You'd get better stories out of a Freeside junkie.
Oh, all right. I'm 30-ish. Well, late 30s. I was born west of here. I was an only child and spent most of my time with my mother. My father died when I was young and I never got over it. Oh, and I like medicine and reading books about failed pre-war socioeconomic policies. Right now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, why hasn't some lucky man scooped this bachelor off his feet? Like I said, I'm boring. Some people do. I just don't. Look, I appreciate that you're trying to be friendly, but I'd just rather not discuss it.
More? Oh, they're just... Oh, shit's going down now. Okay. Come here. Oh, I screwed that up.
That's a lot of energy weapons. Brings back some interesting memories.
Energy weapons? Of course not. I mean, but we study all sorts of science and technology, so, you know,
One point.
You just kind of get familiar with them. Yeah.
I've read about REPCONN. I think they did some work with the the government before the war. Rockets and some energy weapon prototypes, I think.
Plasma rifles. They were intended to replace the P-94 plasma caster. There was some corporate espionage going on between Poseidon Energy's Project Simile and whatever was going on here.
Stop thinking so much. Thanks.
Jesus. All right. This guy's pretty guarded.
Wait a second. What's going on? Am I
Jesus
playing
Christ.
Virgil to your Dante? I'd like to assume that we're tiptoeing into the mouth of hell out of academic curiosity, but I'm not so open-minded that I've lost my brains.
I can't say I understand your obsession, but for that, I suppose I'd have to spend a night in your grave. Fine. I'll stick with you. Just remember this. If you want something from Caesar, sooner or later, you'll have to give him his due.
Another kill to my name.
What happened here? Take Tesla beacon prototype?
A Vertibird. Interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen one of these.
Huh. Good question. Must have been in a book.
In a book, huh?
I'm really very boring.
No, really. Have you ever snorted a ground-up Cazador venom sac? Neither have I. But I can guarantee you that a Freeside junkie has.
punch and it fires a shotgun shell. Arcade will approach you? Okay.
Only to obfuscate my past association with a fascist paramilitary organization. I'm joking, of course. I will deflect personal questions at any opportunity. Honestly, it isn't too difficult if you have half a brain and aren't a complete jerk. I wanted to help people and I enjoyed learning, so I signed up. New Vegas is in trouble, so I came out here. If someone doesn't step up and try to help the people here, it's going to end very badly. The followers taught me everything I know about medicine. Despite our humble abode here in New Vegas, we have great facilities back in the NCR. We may have overextended ourselves by setting up camp in Freeside, but the people here need help from someone. If not us, who?
All right.
Jesus.
Report. Is Mr. Howe still a threat? Then that's one more nuisance we won't have to worry about. Good work. Our efforts haven't gone unnoticed either. The brass have been throwing around the idea of having the president visit the dam for a while now, to rally the troops and boost morale and such. With our recent achievements, they finally feel secure enough to stage the damn thing. But while it's being planned, I have one last mission for you. Several years ago, we managed to wrest the Helios 1 solar power station from the Brotherhood of Steel chapter local to this area. It was a crushing victory, but no one's heard a peep from the Brotherhood since. Most people assume the Brotherhood is scattered and not a threat. Recently, we've had scouts go missing in an area west of Helios, and I'm concerned that the Brotherhood is involved. I want you to find them, and once you do, finish them for good. Any questions?
Oh, damn. I didn't mean that, like, wordplay-wise. Holy shit. Did I talk to Yes Man? Yes, and I got warned that if I do any more Yes Man quests, that I'm going to be disowned from the NCR, essentially. You need to wipe out entirely. I know, right? But I kind of got to know the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm kind of.
Don't even think about it. Any Brotherhood survivors likely harbor a deep grudge against us. We can't afford to leave such an enemy alive. Any other objections? Maybe you'd like to bring the Brotherhood some flowers.
Jesus. Don't listen to her.
A fair question, and one I've had our strategists think about for some time. Their consensus is that we must focus on the one thing we can count on. With the Brotherhood, that's their obsessive attachment to technology. They'd never go anywhere that didn't have working power. I'm willing to bet that wherever they're hiding, there's a working reactor power.
I'm gonna feel really bad
if
I gotta blow away the Brotherhood of Steel.
Detonate that reactor, and we can safely cross the Brotherhood off our list of concerns. Is there anything else? After the battle, we consolidated our hold on the plant before pursuing our enemies.
Fallout 4,
it was a mistake, to be sure, but there wasn't really any place for them to go.
After them.
When we finally gave chase, however, they had simply vanished. Some of our people think they had some means of conveyance, like the Vertibirds the Enclave used, and hightailed it out of here. I think that they found someplace to hide close to Helios, and never went that far at all. Any other questions? As I said, our scouts were some ways west of Helios when they disappeared. Dismissed.
Talking McMara? Okay.
I need to talk to you about something.
Oh shit.
If you have.
Here we go.
Any day now, Caesar's going to try to march across Hoover Dam and kick NCR out of the Mojave. We're getting caught up in something important out here. Hell, after how you handled Benny, you're practically right in the middle of all this. I know I'm just along for the ride, but it's made me think about the past and how I might be able to help out. I wasn't always with the followers, or with the NCR. My late father was an officer in a group called the Enclave, a remnant of America's pre-war government. Memories being short around here, not a whole lot of people remember them. But they did bad things. Terrorized communities, kidnapped people. Eventually someone stopped them. I was born a few years later at a military base on the coast, a place called Navarro. A lot of different places. I only know what I was told. Some of them were cut down by the NCR and the Brotherhood. Some of them went east. My mother never told me what happened to my father, but she and I went south with some others and integrated into the NCR. When the NCR learned that Enclave personnel had integrated, we kept moving to the fringes. one of the reasons why I wound up out here. After the Enclave's command structure fell apart, it was only a matter of time before Navarro was overrun by NCR forces. My mother and I left with some of the troopers from my father's old unit, the same people I've kept in contact with over the years. Anyone who didn't get out was killed by the NCR. Even some of the ones who escaped were eventually hunted down by the Brotherhood of Steel. The Enclave did a lot of bad things, but there were good people in Navarro. Good people with a lot of experience. Not many of them are alive anymore, but I think they could make a difference in the fight against Caesar. That's a hard question to answer. I know I don't want the Legion to take Hoover Dam. So militarily, yes, I want them to help NCR. If possible, I'd like to figure out a way to help the NCR win Hoover Dam without holding New Vegas. Great. I'd like you to talk to the old-timers, the remnants. I don't think I could convince them by myself. To them, I'm still a kid. But you're a big part of what's happening out here. When you talk to them, they'll understand how important this all is. I've kept in contact with them over the years, so I know where you can find them. But I doubt they'll open up to you unless I come along. I know I'm not always the most serious guy around, but this means a lot to me. Thanks.
That tower on the Strip. Your travels been going all right? Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a Vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear. I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow. Watch your six out there.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too.
Oh, damn.
She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded. As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something, admittedly, pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a Vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
Well, it's about damn time. What took you... Oh. I've been in the Reaper's shadow for a long time now, and I thought he'd finally showed up to collect. He's just mocking me now. Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion all about then? Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. You can count me in. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is hold. Appropriate, huh?
Damn.
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew. I grew up without him. I'll always feel like something is missing from my life, but you're right. It's not like I'm the only kid in the wasteland who's grown up without a dad. Johnson always said my father was a good man. If that's the only thing about me that's like him, that's enough for me.
What brings you around this time? There's a twitch in my trigger finger. I've lost my eagle eyes, and the other day I could have sworn I heard Sergeant Dornan chewing me out. I'm old and I'm starting to feel it. It's not pleasant, especially when you know your mind's slipping away. And we all gotta go sometime. But I was hoping for something a little more heroic. He was a drill instructor I knew. He was also the meanest bastard I've ever known. Once he caught this private out of uniform, and old Dornan went off on the most ear-blistering rant known to man. It was inspiring.
You're out of uniform, soldier. Where's your power armor?
Squad marksman. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I never killed a single soul who wasn't trying to kill me or one of my team first. I'm sorry to say that it was. Civilian casualties was acceptable and sometimes encouraged. My former squad mate Moreno didn't need encouraging.
Jesus.
Moreno and I might have killed each other if Captain Kreger hadn't been there to pull us apart. What do you want to know? I'm not saying. It's part of my mystique, after all.
I mean...
The truth of it is that I did cut out a raider's heart, but only took a bite to mess with his buddies. They had me surrounded, and I went with the first thing that came to mind. Some ran, and the rest were startled just long enough. Sure do. Had a wife for a while. Tribal girl. Really pretty eyes. But she's been gone a long time now. Well, ain't like I've got places to be. Be seeing you. Maybe.
Looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're with the NCR, get out. This place is mine, and I'm not leaving. Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries? Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling? You haven't decided. Well, this is just getting better every second, isn't it? I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser.
Yikes.
Oh, I'll come. But depending on the plan, I might not be staying. Keep that in mind. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is, remember.
Something just materialized. Is that Arcade spawning in? What in the world?
Heavy weapons trooper. Nothing better than hosing down a target with an excess of bullets and laser fire. By the time I got through with things, not much was left standing.
That point.
Any morons who didn't run when they saw me coming got what they deserved. Back then, it was war. If we'd been on the winning side, I'd be called a hero.
History is written by the victors.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe. The NCR makes a habit out of wrecking homes. I came out here to get away from them. Didn't work out so well. Next thing I know, I'm squatting in their land. Never mind that I already been living here for years. I don't do anything. I'm retired.
Yeah, you look it.
I was a soldier. Why do you even care? I came out here to forget about the past, so quit bringing it up.
Here we go.
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, it was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left. I suppose you're right. When you're part of something for that long, maybe it's impossible to let go without losing part of yourself. Moreno may be a stubborn son of a bitch, but at least he's loyal.
Sticking around for the attractions? Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us? Swooping in on a Vertibird, guns blazing? Haven't done that in years, but all right, I'm in. None of this means a thing if the rest of the group doesn't show up, though. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro. I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants. Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region. I was the officer in charge, and Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman flew the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along, and I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary. Uh-huh.
All right.
Judah Kreger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Kreger was polite and kind, but never warm. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him. Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
Is there something else I can do for you? I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it. Yes, yes.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed. Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone, but he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
Glad to see you made it here all right. So, who are we going up against? Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. He won't like that we're helping the NCR. You'll have to talk to him. I stopped being Moreno's officer a long time ago. Everyone here respects me, but they don't need to follow my orders. Not anymore. You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no changing it.
All right.
I didn't come all the way out here just so we could save the fucking NCR. I'm out. I can't believe you've actually talked me into this. Fine, I'm in. But don't expect me to hold my fire if any NCR troops get in the way.
Thanks for doing this. Getting them all back together again. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd all be walking out of there in one piece. I still don't know how this is all going to shake out in the end, but at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it's done. I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I still haven't figured out what I should do. I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro and my father served with them, but I wasn't really part of the Enclave. It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause worth fighting for. Because I know when fighting breaks out at the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. They're going to need every doctor they can get. I honestly didn't expect you to say that. When I talked to you about Daisy and the others, you seemed to put a lot of value in loyalty to the past. What's changed since then? True enough, I suppose. Getting them back together must be worth more than me spraying plasma all over the dam. Back to Freeside it is. I need to make a stop before I settle in. I'll be back in a while. Thanks again for your help. It means a lot to me.
Moreno's a stubborn son of a bitch, but he's also tougher than any of us. I'm glad you were able to talk him into staying. Since Whitman will be staying with the Vertibird, she's offered to give her old suit of power armor to you. You'll need special training to use it properly, so talk to her as soon as you get the chance. The training might take several hours, so keep that in mind.
Oh, Jesus. You don't say.
I appreciate you keeping Orion in the group. And since I won't be needing my armor, makes the cockpit a bit cramped, you should take it. It'll take a few hours to show you how to use it properly, so let's get started.